amazing panelists with me. So these people will throw light and they will share lots of tips and like what to expect, the right parameters in college selection in the coming months. This panelist and this particular webinar is going to be a very special one for Collegedunia because we are conducting this specifically for Tamil Nadu colleges, and because what we have noticed particularly is like the different state scenarios are has different flavors. For example, the issues which is in Tamil Nadu, which might not be reflecting in like for example Bihar or so. So with that, I'll just introduce the panel to you. So let me first start with Annie Jacob, ma'am. Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah, so ma'am is the current director of KCG College of Technology, which we call KCG Tech. So ma'am is very passionate about business ideas and nurturing them. She's very much into entrepreneurship. So she has set up innovation and entrepreneurship developmental center in KCG, and it is the first institution in Chennai which has gotten like funding, and it has set up a technological business incubator center, and it has been helping students to bring up their ideas, fund them, and bring them into reality. So ma'am has been awarded a title most eminent woman entrepreneur by the Times Group in 2015, and in the same year she has been awarded best woman entrepreneur by ICT Academy. So she's the co-chairman of the first Education and Skill Development Committee of Association of Chambers, Tamil Nadu State Chapter. Welcome to the panel.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So let me introduce next Subbaiah Bharati, sir. So he's a current director of SRM Group of Institutions, Ramapuram's campus. So sir has completed his PhD. So he has did his graduation and post-graduation in engineering, and he's one of the most seasoned educational administrator with almost 3 decades of experience in this field. So he has proven track record, which includes 3 government-funded projects, 11 doctorates under his guidance, and more than 100 research papers, which has appeared all across different international journals. So he's currently involved in developing technologies, a very niche technology, in fact, to assess the decay in heritage structures, which is a very interesting topic. And he's also involved in computer-aided medical diagnostics, which is the need of the hour. So welcome to the panel, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So next, let me introduce Mr. Abhay Shankar Meghnadhan, sir. Sir needs no introduction in Tamil Nadu Entrepreneurship Circle. So he has his interests almost in distinct sectors like automobiles, education, renewable energy, etc. So he has completed BE in ECE from Rana University, and he went on to do his masters from US. Sir is currently the vice chairman of Rajalakshmi Educational Trust. He has Rajalakshmi Trust has a plethora of colleges under them. You name it and you have it. That kind of a trust. And so Sir has started a dealership with with Maruti and with Mahindra and Mahindra way back 9 years before, and right now it has spread all across Tamil Nadu with 23 dealer points and more than 1,100 people employed under it. And his interest in wind energy is quite fascinating. So under his arm, he has now producing 60 megawatts of power, and a rainbow kind of a personality. Welcome to this panel, sir.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Yeah, sure. So the next in our esteemed panel is Mr. Sriram, sir. He's the founder and managing director of Chennai Institute of Technology, one of the premium institutes in Tamil Nadu right now, and it's a fast-growing college right now. So he's also founder and managing director of MK Group of Companies. So he has pursued association member of Institute of Engineers in Mechanical Engineering, quite a niche study, I would say. So coming from a very humble background, so he has set up his own manufacturing shop in the year of 1996, and his unique interesting thing is like at that particular point of time, a lot of things were not produced internally in India. Everything was in the automobile sector was produced outside India and imported into India. So he came up and brought in a major change into it. So he set up a lot of processes, products, and he started producing it, like within India. He's almost like first man in the sector to bring the Make in India. So he's also a board of studies member of Pondicherry Engineering College, and he has gotten so many numerous awards from prestigious organizations such as Best Business Performer, Young Entrepreneur Award, etc. So welcome to the panel, sir. So lastly, and so a known face all across media circle, Mr. Ramesh Prabhasar. So he is a well-known educationalist, and he is going to be the moderator of this particular segment. So Ramesh Prabhasar has completed his BSc and BTech and went on to do his MBA from IIM Calcutta, and he completed his PhD also from Indian Institute of Oriental Heritage. So he ideated, launched, and he's a brand. Like he has created a brand known as Galaxy, under which so many different segments are there, from Galaxy Advertising Limited, Galaxy Publications, Galaxy Institute of Management, and so many more. So he's a former academic council member and former advisory member of University Stakeholders Forum of Anna University. So he has written so many books, ranging from Vele Ungalukke and Eppadi Jaithiirgal. So these kind of books we've read in our ages, to know about the current education scenario and what jobs we should select, etc. And he has been conferred with Kalaimamani Award by Tamil Nadu government, and he has received Ilaignargalin Eluchi Nayagan Award from Rotary International. So happy to have you as our moderator, sir.
Thank you.
So over to you, sir. So you can take it over from here.
Okay. Good evening, students. Welcome to this webinar organized by Collegedunia. And first of all, on behalf of the panel, let me thank Collegedunia for doing this wonderful exercise at this critical juncture. And we have chosen a topic: what are the right parameters for college selection amidst this COVID pandemic? Today, all the students are at a very, very critical juncture, especially the +2 students, and most of them not yet completed their exams also. At least in Tamil Nadu State Board, they've completed, but the last exam, almost 37,000 could not write because of the last day lockdown. So the government has announced that they are going to do that exam again. So which means the Tamil Nadu also still the exam is not over. As far as the CBSE is concerned, today they have announced a circular saying that definitely the 10th and +2 exams are going to be held by CBSE after the lockdown. And they've assured that they will give at least 10 days notice before announcing the schedule. So students will have enough time for further again for revision or preparations, etc. So only after that the entire process is going to start. And many of them, almost every time the top 2 careers are medical and engineering. And medical is always now dependent on the NEET actually. Again, the NEET schedule is not yet confirmed. But engineering consumes lakhs and lakhs of students, and that attracts, that intakes a lot of students. So the priority will be for more for engineering. The equal strength, equal amount will be going to arts and science also. So today we have a set of experts from the Chennai, and they'll be contributing their knowledge and expertise to share with the students. And I think the students need not get panic about anything, because you'll have enough time for your selection process. Everything will take time. Whatever is going to happen is for everyone. It's not for any individual or anything. So it can be rest assured. So each panelist will, around 7 to 10 minutes, they will share their expertise. During this session, you will also have a poll running, which you have to vote it actually for each aspect. And at the end of all the sessions, you can ask questions, and all these experts will clarify and answer your doubts. So let me start with Dr. Annie Jacob, Director of KCG College of Technology, to share her views and expertise for the students now.
Esteemed panelists, Mr. Ramesh Prabha, educationalists, the Collegedunia team, and all our viewers, good evening to all. The higher education choice has an area which has been of interest for many years because of the various changes as the need for pursuing higher education, as well as the value that is attached to us has undergone a paradigm shift. So why does one choose or go into higher education? The main reason is from the psychological theories, what they say is it is for knowledge, expertise, and efficiency, which will give you a successful life. When the economists viewed it, they said it is because of the perceived benefits, and the economic growth and competitiveness of a knowledge-driven economy is based on the higher education. It is realized that though primary and secondary education does have a lot of importance, it is the quality and the size of the higher education system that will differentiate a dynamic economy from a marginalized one, especially when your economy is a knowledge-driven one. So there are immense number of, there's a whole massification going into higher education, and the demand for from schooling into higher education has increased because of the aspirations of the youth. And we see that we've got almost close to 300 million kids in 1.4 million schools in the whole of India, and we've got 51,000 colleges. So the number of institutions that are available to pursue higher education, the demand for higher education has increased exponentially. Also, when there is so much of massification happening and when there is demand for higher education, the need to look at alternatives. So now you have a lot of students who want to go in for a college, the number of alternatives available for them. So there comes in their need to search for information on how to choose a college. So what is it that you expect from a higher education institution that you want to pursue? First of all, you have to choose between various courses. It will be different types of colleges, and also why do you need to pursue higher education? So there comes in a lot of attributes that are related to it. Can be individual factors which influence your college choice. It can be situational factors which are inevitable, like what the current situation we are in. And also it can be psychologically driven factors. So when we look at it from the psychological point of view, it is basically your aspiration, your interest. You want to pursue higher education because you want, say, in case it's for employability, a better social status in the community. When you look at from the economic point of view, it is more from the perceived benefits, the cost attached to it. And when you look at these sort of factors that influence your decision, then you will think about what is it that you want at the end of finishing your higher education in 4 years. So here comes the whole search process. So the college choice process, for the benefit of the students, I will categorize into 3 phases. One is the pre-search phase, then you go into a search phase, and then you finally have a college choice. So what exactly is pre-search phase? So pre-search is when you finish your school education or while you're pursuing your secondary education, that is when you decide which higher education do you want to go into? What is your choice for a course? And once you decide, which is a decision that you have to take based on your interest, your ability, and your knowledge of what you're going to pursue. Once you decide on that, and then you will have to look at the immense number of alternatives that you have. So then you start searching for information. And now the search of information is not an easy process because of the amount of information that is available. If you're looking for engineering, you have to choose between government institutions, there are private institutions, there are deemed universities, there are affiliated universities, same case with arts and science. So when you're put in such a confusion thing, you will have to do a very extensive search because as higher education is a high involvement decision making, which is a one-time life decision. So what students have to look into is, if you have narrowed down into engineering, which is one of the interest areas, then which are the institutions that offer, what is it that you expect from an engineering degree? Is it for the purpose of placement, or do you have an entrepreneurial interest in it, or do you want to go in for higher studies, or is it any other added value to your degree that you are foreseeing? So when it comes to this, now there are various college attributes. Traditionally, what we had as attributes, why would you choose a college, depends upon the main important factors would be infrastructure, placement, and what is the perceived benefit they get after completing, what is the social status. This was traditionally, but now the student mentality or the psychology has changed. They look more at learning outcomes. What do they gain? What is the competency that they get? And what are the skills that will make them employable at the end of 4 years of engineering education? So here is where the extensive search has to happen so that they take an informed decision based upon what is the benefit they want from higher education. So there are, if I'm allowed to share a slide, I would like to, is it allowed at this point of time? Can I share my screen?
Yeah, please.
So this was traditionally what we were looking at when attributes that as to why you would choose a college. So can be a discipline of the college, the quality of teaching, location of campus, the career placement opportunities, the faculty that are there in institution, the staff-student interactions, the college ranking reputation. There are a list of it. Now from here, when you move into what are the college attributes that you would look at now? Present scenario, there are many other attributes that the students are looking into from the typical traditional ones that was earlier followed, which is a holistic development. So in addition to the technical, what are the other non-technical attributes, or what are the non-technical competency they gain out of higher education? What is the teaching learning process? How are the outcomes measured? Project-based approach, because we have to shift from a rote learning to more project-based approach in learning so that you apply your concepts. The involvement of industry in the curriculum design, as well as the centers of excellence, as well as the certification that they give is of immense importance, and that a lot of students look at this, and this is of immense importance because you will be upgrading your knowledge with what is actually required by the industry. Internships is one. It is mandated that you do go in for internships. So a college which offers or encourages internships should be looked into. Innovation and creativity. So if it is not just placement, if you're into product development, you're into this developing a product or going into an entrepreneurial spirit, then you have to identify an institution which supports innovation and creativity. And then of course, the infrastructure facilities, the kind of labs that have been established. Are they NABL certified? Are they industry support? What is the connect with the industry they have? These are labs which will definitely have an edge over the traditional labs at the set. Now, if you are a student who's interested in higher education beyond engineering, then if it is a research-focused campus, you can pursue your education if teaching is your passion. If it is going to be higher education in a foreign country with your postgraduate, then you will have to look at the kind of connects they have with foreign universities, or even if it is in India, the kind of gate coaching or those sort of courses or that sort of training that can happen on campuses. Now, once you narrow down and you decide on the attributes that you would want in an institution, then it goes into sources. What are the sources you will look for? So we call it as significant sources or formal sources and informal sources. And there's so much of information that is available everywhere. I know parents and students are confused. So probably you may not be able to depend on just one source. You will have to take the feedback from our multiple sources and then decide on which institution you would want to join. So the whole idea is what I would say is decide on why you want to pursue higher education. What is the outcome that you're looking at? Where do you see yourselves in 4 years or in 3 years, regardless of the degree that you choose? How would you want your future to be established? So that is how you choose a college, because if you already put down those attributes and put down what you expect from higher education, it'll be easier for you to make a college choice. Now, in the current scenario, the whole thing is the whole decision regarding higher education, there are a lot of risks attached to it. And in the current pandemic, we are even more in a state of uncertainty. And during this period, what can we do? We just have to, panic is not the answer to it. Just relax, keep yourselves eyes and ears open, understand and listen to the communication that has been disseminated by various institutions. Since you've already put down a list of what you want, it's easier for you to look out for that. If you're preparing you for any entrance exams, continue doing that so that it's not going to be a waste, because you're brushing up your concepts till the government takes a decision on when counseling or when the first year admissions are going to happen. So concentrate on strengthening your fundamental concepts, because if it is engineering, then your math, physics, chemistry, your communication skills, and your English. And if you're going into computer programming, then you have to strengthen those skills on Python. So whatever is required in the first year, you could brush up on those skills much earlier. If it is engineering, if it's arts and science, it's another set. So you keep yourself prepared so that when the time comes, it's easier for us to make a choice. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Annie Jacob. I think in depth you have discussed about the attributes required to select a college. Next, I think we'll go to Dr. Subaya Bharati. See, in Tamil Nadu or in any other place, you have two set of choices. You have, at least here in Tamil Nadu, you have University and University affiliated institutions. The other choice is private universities, or you call deemed universities. So Dr. Subaya Bharati represents a popular deemed university, SRM, from the Ramapuram campus. And he's a seasoned academician as well as administrator. I request Dr. Subaya Bharati to can be more specific on this current scenario, especially under this COVID kind of scenario. What are the students are expected to do under this? Over to Dr. Subaya Bharati.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, friends. Dr. Annie Jacob has extensively covered all the points. I will present some practical tips. Presently, the world is under the grip of corona pandemic. SARS-CoV-2 virus is very new, but the pandemic situation is not new. So exactly 1 century back, the world has come across Spanish flu pandemic with more death than now. It took 20 years to create a vaccine for Spanish flu. For Ebola, it took 5 years. For Zika virus, it took 2 years to develop a vaccine. But for coronavirus, they say 12 months within which there is going to be a vaccine. So it is not the end of the road. Probably next 1 year, we have to be very protective on not getting exposed to the infection. This fear and panic make the parents, especially the parents, to choose a college very close to their homes. It is quite understandable. But the choice you make now is going to decide your career for the next 40 years. So while choosing the college, there should be some practical consideration. So in this pandemic situation, what are all the things we have to consider while joining a college? So next 1 year, we have to be very careful about our safety and health. But going beyond, looking at your career, we have to be careful in selecting the college. So my suggestion today would be a campus with 2 aspects. One is a safety campus, basically a safety campus. The next should be a success campus. What do you mean by a safety campus? You have to select a college which should have a hospital in the campus itself, because when the college is open, if there is a hospital, they will take care of all the screening protocol, they will fumigate, they will disinfect the entire college, so they will take care the campus is virus free. Not only that, if somebody falls sick, it will be immediately attended to. Medical facilities for an institution, so far it is a desirable aspect, but in this scenario, it becomes essential. I hope the government also will mandate medical facilities inside the institution. The second aspect for a safety campus is professional counseling and mentoring. Dear students, the coming academic year is going to be very tightly scheduled with almost no holidays and no vacation. So students will undergo a lot of academic stress. That is for sure. So in that case, the college you select, if they have a structured mentoring system, they will help you out to plan and overcome this academic stress. In case if the academic stress lead to emotional stress, if the college has a professional counselor, then they will help you out to be more emotionally stable and come out of this stress. So this is the second aspect of a safe campus. The third aspect of a safe campus is hostels. Every institution has hostel, but what I am trying to say here is a self-contained hostel with a supermarket, a gym, a laundry, maybe even a saloon inside a hostel, so that you need not venture out and getting exposed to infection. So our priority today in selecting the campus is a safe campus with medical facilities and professional counseling and mentoring service, and then a self-contained hostel with all the facilities. The second aspect is related to your career. Even though we are more concentrating on the next 1 year, but your career will span for next 40 years. So the campus you select should be a success campus, where you have to look at whether the campus is giving good placement record for consistently over a period of time. Because during this pandemic, you know very well, most of the countries, the economics slowing down. So it will have a huge impact on industries and it will have an impact on placement also. We don't know what is going to be the placement outlook in this pandemic situation. So the college you select should be one which should give consistent placement for many years. That is one aspect. Second thing is, this pandemic will open up lot of avenues for entrepreneurs and startups. So the campus you select should have a culture of innovation, incubation, and startup. The third thing about success campus is it should have a very good support service for higher education also. So this is the thing I would like to tell. So two types. One is a campus, safe campus. The next one is success campus. If you are able to identify one campus satisfying both, that should be your campus and your future. All the best.
Thank you, Dr. Subaya Bhargi, sir. I think with your kind of experience, you have shared all the valid points. And whenever I go for a career counseling session or like that, the current students tend to ask about the current scenario. But I tell them they're going to join in 2020. And by the time they will be out in 2024, the total scenario will be totally different. So that they have to bear it in mind. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Abhay Shankar Magnathan, one of the youngest academic administration in Chennai. Sir, nowadays, I want you to concentrate this also. Nowadays, a lot of memes are coming about this engineering education, making fun out of it. And if you notice, many of the Tamil movies, the comedy scenes are engineering. So somewhere you have to reassure that engineering is not gone down, and still you have the future. Over to you, Mr. Abhay Shankar.
Thank you, sir. Very good evening to everyone. First of all, I hope everyone is safe and staying at home. We are at a very challenging juncture with this pandemic creating nuisance every day and is testing us on a daily basis. But I am confident that we'll get through it soon and we'll come out on top. I think I'll come to your point straight away. I think with all the attention that engineering education has got, I don't think placements have come down. In fact, placements have been going up on a yearly basis. I think the number of enrollments in colleges which have been accredited, which have been doing well, has been increasing. Contrary to media reports that engineering education is going down and overall a lot of university education is going down. There is a lot of talk about will universities even survive in the future with the age of instant education, where like anything else, you have education in your fingertips. I mean, you not education, you get knowledge in your fingertips. You want to know about any particular thing under the sun, you're able to get it in the next 2 minutes if you have a phone, smartphone with you. Having said all that, today without education has seen many centuries. This is not universities and campuses have not been a thing of the last couple of decades. It's been around for more than we can actually predict. With regard to all the ridicule it faces, I think that is also an added thing to say that it is not going to die anytime soon. That's the way I see it. Because if something is not important, something is not worth talking about, I don't think any of these memes or any of these critics would spend time critiquing them. So I think that is something that you take. Sometimes the messages that come from the memes are things that are good for you to take and correct into your thing. A lot of things are said in a very extreme way, but you can take the message. You can take some of the core messages and probably implement in your daily thing. This is with regard to what you were mentioning, but with regard to the larger topic, of selecting a higher education institution during these testing times. I think I don't want to be repeating a lot of the points that the earlier speakers had mentioned. To simply say, I think, I was also trying to simplify the process. It does seem daunting, but at the same time, it's not something that there is a correct result. There is no correct answer at the end of your search. You can take in a lot of data. There is a lot of objective reasoning that you can do. There is a lot of subjective data collection that you might have to do. But at the end of the day, I think you should be convinced by yourself. There is no one who's going to come and tell you this is the right answer. And if someone comes and tells you that, I think you should not be taking that answer. I mean, if I have to put this process as a student, if I were a student now, what I would do is, try and collect as much data as possible. First of all, have a clear goal in mind. Today, with the amount of data available, it's very easy for us to have a wavering mind. You can think of one thing today, tomorrow another thing. That is not going to help. I think with your aptitude, with your interest levels, you should have a firm goal. Once that goal is set, you have to start looking for an institution and a course that the institution is going to give. You have to think of whenever I talk about a goal, I think a goal should be both practical and also inspiring. It should be a good match of both. When I say practical, are you willing to, can you spend the next 10, 15 years learning a particular thing? Do you want to become a super specialized doctor wherein you spend 13, 14 years in that field? Or do you just want to spend maybe 3 years doing a basic degree and going into the market? Or somewhere in between is one criteria that you'll have to really look at from a practical point of view, yet something that inspires you. It cannot be something that you don't get inspired at doing, And then once you get a basic idea of your goal, the next stage should be, in my opinion, a lot of data analysis. This is though it sounds, the data analysis is a very big term that can sound big, but it's something you have to get used to in the future if you're going to get into technical education, especially because it's basically just crunching. Looking at data and seeing what you understand out of it. So if you're able to collect data of institutions, for example, accreditation is one very important classifier. So for technical education, for instance, there are two types of accreditations: NAC, NBA. NAC is an institutional accreditation, while NBA is a department-wise accreditation. So this can be like a qualifier which kind of eliminates a lot of the noise out of your search. After that comes your NIRF ranking, you have placement numbers, you have alumni strength, which is a very important area because alumni are the actual products of a campus. You should be able to speak to alumni. You should be able to see what alumni are the alumni of a campus are doing currently. So once you get this data, all this data, I think you will be able to eliminate 85% of the colleges and also add your geographical preference. Once you do that, I think you will be able to zero down to, let's say, 10 to 12 colleges in whichever field that you want to get into. And then from there, I think that's where the hard work actually comes. Because see, all said and done, this is a choice which is going to stay with you for life. You must have heard your parents, your uncles, your relatives talking about where they went to, which college they went to, and about their friends and all those things. This is a ecosystem that lives with you more than anything. So, here you have to spend a lot of time, if possible, whenever permitted, after all the lockdown and everything, you should try and visit these campuses. If not for that, if you're definitely not able to do that, you should at least get in touch with faculty members of these campuses. You should be able to get in touch with alumni of this campus, current students of this campus, and get a feedback. Take everything with a pinch of salt, but get a feedback on what the actual experience was in the campus or is in the campus. See whether is that something that you will like? Is that something that you want to do? So these are things that kind of give you an idea. And at the end of the day, the choice is yours. When the choice is made, I think you have to commit to your choice And you should not worry too much about jobs. See, today like our moderator put very well, we cannot say what is going to happen in 2024 to that accuracy today. And if you get into such preconceived notions, I think that there's a bigger chance of you getting hurt because of that rather than it helping you. But largely what we have in all specializations, as long as there is an aptitude to learn, and that aptitude cannot come without the interest in that subject. So the primary thing is the interest in the subject, interest for you to go and extract knowledge out of the ecosystem that you want to get into. And when you do this, I think you should be 100% committed in doing this and take the plunge happily. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vaishankar, for being very spontaneous on various factors. You really touched upon the areas of accreditation and certification, and all this is very important. And you talked about the alumni feedback, which is very, very critical. I think I will take the lead from you about the placement to my next panelist, Mr. Sriram, founder and director of Chennai Institute of Technology. Mr. Sriram is a successful industrialist turned educationalist. So he's got hardcore experience in the industry. And when we are talking about placement, always we talk about campus placement. But once you prepare the student for the industry, the placement, more than 50% of the placement is off the campus actually. So I would like to call Mr. Sriram to touch upon these kind of areas. Over to Mr. Sriram.
Yeah. Good evening. Thank you, Collegedunia and panelists, for sharing your valuable thoughts. Say, before placement, the basic expectations from an engineer is they have to understand the problems existing in the society. They must be concerned about the problems existing in the society and even in industries also. That's the most important thing. And they must have problem solving ability, logical thinking. These are the very important things. Without that, you cannot pursue your engineering educations. If you have these skills and the talent, I'm sure you will be successfully, you will get placed in very good companies, and not only at the beginning getting jobs, you can also grow and sustain and grow, and you will build the career what you would like to have, you have dreamt of. That is the most important thing. My view, again and again, I have been telling like this. Engineer is a person who can understand problems and he has to develop solutions for the problems. The solutions should be very, very simple and it should be affordable, and also it consumes less resources and same time without affecting the environment. And you have to be really very fast, quick. You will not get again and again opportunities. Whenever the opportunities comes, you need to grab that chance. This is the most important thing. For this, you have to equip yourself for the next 4 years when you are at the campuses. So if you have this kind of skills, I'm sure you will get good placements. And there are panic telling that engineering education is it's not going to survive, and you can, without going to engineering colleges, if you pick up some skills, you can get jobs and all. But university educations, classroom educations, even pandemic situations, so many people are get online education will flourish, and students can get jobs after taking some courses. Irrespective of that, engineering education and university education, classroom education will continue. Nobody can take away one thing. Then the jobs, country like India, we are going to generate more and more jobs because we have too many people and we have too many problems, too many challenges to be solved. We need to provide all the infrastructure requirement, food requirement. Now, because of this pandemic situations, it is totally everything's changed. In country like India, having too many people, also we need to focus on building health and infrastructure for health, so that whenever we face this kind of problems, easily we can address those problems. Say, for example, simple example, I would like to quote China. China had problem 3 months. Now they have overcome, and now all their manufacturing, not only in manufacturing, you name any sector, they are running 100%, more than 100%. One of my friend having, he is heading India plant. They also having plant in China. Their plants are running now 110% capacity. I'm expecting such situations within 3 to 4 months time in India also, especially in manufacturing sector. And also once manufacturing grows, start reviving, definitely other industries like IT and other industries also will survive. So in placements, again, if you take every year, placements in terms of numbers, it is growing, and also quality jobs also, new jobs are being generated. But whenever the companies visit campuses for hiring, they are again and again, they are complained, and they are facing a lot of problems after these engineers, those hired by those companies directly from the campuses, inducting them into their workforce. It's a big challenge. And also the kind of challenges that the skills, not only technical skills, managerial skills also, it is not matching the industry expectations. They are having a lot of problems. So as I said, we need to address those problems as a student while you are at the campus. That is the biggest challenge. And the companies like IT companies, they are starting, they have changed their hiring process also. Earlier, typically they have accredited institutions, they visit only those institutions and they hire in big number. Now that process, they have not only one company, many IT, not only IT companies, again, even core engineering companies also changing. They are going for nationwide hiring. It means that wherever the talent is available to meet their expectations, they would like to hire. They don't want to miss those students. That is the thing now. If you are talented, if you are having skills, definitely they will be hiring you. This is one. You need to have those. Then you are competing with not the students, not the classmates inside your campus. You are going to compete nationally. There are, you can say, around 8 lakh students, 5 lakh students are appearing for example, TCS last year conducted around 3 lakh students appeared for drive. So in that they have hired around 25 to 30,000 students. Not only TCS, many companies are hiring that kind of more. One. Second one is quality jobs. As I said, the day by day the jobs are changing. There are various surveys are telling that by 2030, the jobs whatever we are doing currently, 85% of the jobs will not exist. It means that they need to reskill, relearn. In that scenario, my suggestions would be you have to learn. As I said, learning ability is the most important thing. So as an engineer, you need to understand these things. When you are studying in engineering colleges, you got to pick up. Okay. Two. Third one is the quality jobs. As like newer technologies are emerging, embedded, IoT, artificial intelligence, blockchain, data sciences, and AI, experiential, everything they wanted to experience, like AR, VR. Then as a country, especially for automotive, India, there are many companies visited and they set up their facility for manufacturing, and because India was a low-cost country. But now those countries found India is very attractive for developing their product also. All those companies are setting up, already set up many of them, and now some of the companies are setting up their research and development platforms, research and development facilities. Not only develop product and processes and services for Indian consumer, and this for global platform, they are setting up this kind of facility. Why I am telling this, as country, from low cost to the knowledge-based country, when we are growing, innovation-based country, when we are growing, we need to have quality engineers, the engineers who can think. So such jobs are emerging in good number with good salary packages. For example, some fresh engineers are getting in Europe some 2,000 euros. Even in India also, such salaries are going to be normal in the forthcoming years. But same time, if you ask the engineering graduates, the students who are passing out from institutions, do they get all of them get job? No. If they have this kind of qualities, this kind of capabilities and talent, and they have aspiration to have this talented and grow in their career, definitely they will get good jobs. Amazing kind of opportunity. For example, there is one company in recently they set up facility in Bangalore. That company is from Japan. They are into it's a 6-year-old company in Japan. They are they have developed some technologies in blockchain. Now they wanted to train resources in India. They would like to directly work with a few institutions, and they are building capabilities. Similarly, the students who were passing out from institutions in India not only get placed in India, they are global companies. They are willing to hire students directly. Not earlier only experienced people will be hired from India. Now they are from the top-notch institution they hire. Even second-level institutions, those companies looking for placements directly from India, like Japanese companies. Many Japanese companies are hiring. Even there are some Chinese companies. So there are many my Chinese friends. They have large facilities. They are quickly setting up in India, and now they are also willing to hire directly from the campuses to their plants located not only in China, in other part of the world also. So as an engineer, as an industrialist running manufacturing companies and having so many years of experience, I'm not seeing any problem with the placements. Only thing you need to acquire the skills and talent. That is the biggest thing. Again and again, I would like to emphasize this because everybody, whenever the students visit us for counseling session, they ask, what is the minimum salary? What is the highest salary? What is the average salary? How many companies visited? How much they place? Say, it is whatever salary you would like to have, whatever the job you would like to have, definitely you will get if you are acquiring those kind of skills. That many job opportunities are available. And again, the engineering graduates outcome not only getting job in industries, and also as a country we are changing, we are growing, we are having so many problems. There are plenty of opportunity for you to become innovator and start up your own companies. The huge funds are available. Each and every good colleges, engineering campuses are having their own innovation cells, and they have their own entrepreneurial development policies and activities. If you are really wanted to make change, I'm an engineering graduate. I first generation successful entrepreneur. Similarly, there are many success stories I can quote because the people, the engineers those who are working in large organizations are facing a lot of problems in developing solutions for the problems existing in the society. So small startup companies are developing much quicker, much faster, much cost affordable solutions for the problems existing in the industry. More, it is helping them. So that's why large companies are acquiring those kind of companies. So my request for all the engineering graduates, not only you don't look for only job, you can also become entrepreneur and you can generate jobs for your friends, and not only for, and you also contribute for the development of the country and the society, because India, you name any country, developed country like US and European country, recently China, they have grown to this level because of the entrepreneurial spirit and the systems environment existing created for this entrepreneurial development. That's why they have grown. Similarly, I'm seeing next 5 to 10 years, for whoever wanted to become entrepreneurial, it is plenty of opportunities for this. Engineering and technological education is the right choice. And earlier, if you ask, engineering colleges and universities are having such facility atmosphere, do they, if any student join, can they develop this kind of skills, or they can become an entrepreneur? No. But now many such institutions are there. You have to carefully choose. Again, finally, before concluding, I would like to tell students, please visit, students and parents, visit the campuses, see the facilities, all kinds of facility, and also discuss with the students who are studying in the campuses, and then you take informed decision. That will be a right decision, and don't worry about your career. You will get job.
Thank you, Mr. Sriram. I think we have concluded the views and expertise of all the panelists. Now it's time for interaction. The students can post their questions. Meantime, simultaneously, if you watch your screen, there's a poll going on. Please vote the poll. We'll announce the results soon. So please vote the polls. You can watch the questions in the screen. Please vote it. So let me start with the interaction session. The first question is from Raga Vijaya. I think I will handle this question. When will be the colleges reopening in Tamil Nadu for next year, tentatively? Fine. See, the Higher Education Department of Tamil Nadu has announced very clearly for all the institutions, whenever they reopen, the end semester exam, which are due now, they will start with the exams, then simultaneously the next academic year will continue. That's the policy taken by Tamil Nadu government. But the announcement has to come from UGC, because this has to be mostly from a nationwide kind of decision. So as such, the panel has recommended to UGC to start from 1st September. But UGC is yet to announce it officially. So which we may expect in the next few days to happen. Okay, fine. The next question is from Kirti Kishore. I think I will post this question to Dr. Annie Jacob, ma'am. She's asking, will the scope of medical engineering increase because of the current situation? I think what she means is like biomedical, biotechnology, bioinformatics, medical electronics, these kind of medical engineering branches, will they have more scope? That's what she wants to know.
See, for a long time, interdisciplinary projects, interdisciplinary courses have been in demand. Even if it is, I mean, I wouldn't specify anything regarding medical engineering, but I know engineering is like Mr. Sriram had already mentioned. It's got immense problem-solving skill sets, and of course, we know that most of the economies, they have to relook at where their budgets are utilized or how it is being utilized. So there is a great demand of more budget that has to go into health and medical budget because of the kind of uncertainty or a pandemic like this. So at this particular time, even if medical courses don't per se come into this thing, it can be a combination of an engineering technology with inputs from a medical expert. So we all talk about working in sync, right? So it need not necessarily mean that the medical engineering fields have to have a boom, but we can work together with the inputs that come from engineering, with the health professionals, getting inputs from the health professionals, and still it can go on. Unless and until, because it's two different fields, medical as well as, medical inputs that you get in engineers, and what a doctor, the kind of inputs a doctor give and the kind of problem solving skills that an engineering professional has is very different. So of course, there will be a lot of technology that goes into a medical study. That much I'm very sure about, because of the way, even when this pandemic occurred, it is more engineering students and engineering institutions have come up with. There's one area where medical professionals are trying to fight the pandemic and then come up with a kind of vaccine for this. But on the other side, the engineering students or the engineering institutions have come forward with a lot of solutions to the problems, be it coming up with masks or ventilators or name it, or be it the drone facility in order to contain. So there are specializations in both the fields, and every field of study has a contribution. So probably the value of the enhancement can be if it is interdisciplinary.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
To answer the question, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. To add to this, this anxiety is mainly from the students who have taken biology, because since many of them don't get opportunities because of NEET, they want to come to engineering and they like to prefer a branch which is closer to biology. Fine. The next question, and it's okay. We'll go to that.
Add one thing? Can I just add one thing?
There's
something called there's something called medical electronics also, which is there are many. In fact, many universities offer a wide variety of courses which have got medical courses attached to it. So probably they can choose that also if their interest is in such a way.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, this question is Dr. Subhaya Bharati. Being a deemed university, will there be any change in your student selection process because of this pandemic? That is the first part of it. The second part of it is also, if the session for this engineering is delayed by 3 to 4 months, will it be better to drop this year and go for next year? Dr. Bharati.
Actually, so for the first question, as far as the selection process is concerned, most of the deemed universities, they have a entrance exam, but that entrance exam is delayed. So we have originally scheduled on a date, but due to this pandemic, we have postponed it. Even JEE, NEET, those entrance exams have been postponed. So we are not very sure about the entrance examinations, but we are expecting that probably the government may allow the deemed universities to go for online admissions. It is only a wild guess. If it's so, then most of the deemed universities will start their admission process through online. So there is a probability. So we are also looking for such a probability, but as of now, we cannot say anything concrete. We have to wait and watch.
Okay, Doctor. This is, I think this can be handled by Mr. Sriram. Will there be a higher dropout rate this year due to this pandemic?
Dropout of the existing students or?
No, I don't think it's for existing, for opting for engineering.
No, this year, my thought process is definitely this year more
number of applications kind of.
Applications definitely this year will increase because there are problems. Whenever you are having problem, it means that more opportunities, and you have a next 4 years to prepare yourself to have a wonderful career. And advising the students, my suggestions would be choose engineering and technology. It's a wiser decision, especially for the students, those who are passing out this year. And don't wait for next year. Immediately choose, because I feel definitely this year students have advantages compared to previous years.
This question can be from, I think, from a student, Elil Maran. He's from Elil Maran. What is the impact of Corona pandemic on JEE Main and JEE Advanced exams? Will this year JEE Advanced exam be conducted? Dr. Subhaya?
Sure, it will be conducted, sir, because those are all premier government institutions. So without conducting an examination, entrance examination, we cannot go for admissions. Otherwise, it will be leading to a legal problem. So there will be examination. Only thing is, the date will be announced later.
Okay. I think this question to Abhay Shankar sir. Normally there is a confusion among the students to choose the branch actually. See, the last 1 or 2 years, they used to have computer science as the number one. So one of the students have asked, people say because of this pandemic, a lot of job loss will be in IT sector. Is it advisable to choose computer science?
I think, yeah, it's a very interesting question because I don't think there are any job losses forecasted as of now. In fact, the hiring pattern is only the forecast given by IT companies is that hiring is going to increase. If there are job losses, it will be at a more senior level. Where IT companies are kind of following a pyramid structure, where they're trying to recruit more of entry-level software engineers and increase the base. So to answer that question, I think IT, I don't think there are going to be any job losses, at least in the entry level. But coming back to the whole thing of, when you started saying that, what branch you're supposed to choose, I think there should not be a herd mentality here. Because like you mentioned, there was a herd mentality of everyone choosing computer science, which is not a bad branch at all. But what is happening to engineering education on a whole is, today any person in any engineering stream is taught computing education. I don't think it's restricted to only 1 or 2 campuses. I think today a lot of campuses, there's a widespread need for, understand the widespread need for programming, teaching programming skills to students. So people are taught programming in whichever area that they go into. So if you have a extreme bias towards programming, you should probably not consider engineering, or maybe choose something like biotech or something like that, where programming is as minimal. If you take a mechanical or auto or an aero stream, today computing is very much present, and you have to choose your branch as per your interest and your aptitude. You should be interested. We see a lot of students after a year feel that they're not very interested about the branch that they've taken. I think that you should avoid, and don't worry about jobs. Jobs will definitely, like Mr. Sriram had mentioned, today jobs are definitely available as long as there is an aptitude for you to learn in whichever stream that you've taken.
I think this can be handled by Mr. Sriram. Are colleges making a change in the mode of lectures? Are they going to make more online, or how will be the future?
Say definitely colleges will make more changes. For example, I'm proposing many theory portions maximum can handle through online. There are few self-learning courses they can learn through e-learning also, programming and other things. But in colleges, practicals, then projects, and preparing themselves for competitions, and the cultural learning, socializing, all those things can happen inside the campus. So even otherwise, this actually by 2030, we would have moved to more of online teaching, because there are fundamentals, there are some things we are learning again and again. It's been developed 100 years, 200 years before. Those things no need to teach inside the classroom. They can learn. There are a lot of online teaching tools are available, but we need to choose wisely. Because if you take some courses, it is more than hundreds of courses are available in online. We have to choose wisely. That is most important thing. So if you ask online learning will happen, definitely it is required. And more than online learning, you need to learn something at your campuses to supplement that, so that you can understand better. So faculty's intervention must be there to understand, at least not to understand wrongly further.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sriram. I think I have the results of the polls with me. I think I'll share with you. The first one is, will the COVID pandemic affect your decision to travel away from home for an engineering degree? Majority of them, you can say around 62% said yes. The next one is, will you wait for government counseling to finalize college, or decide as soon as the results are out? So in this, around 34% said they'll wait for government counseling. Interestingly, another 30% said decide as soon as the results are out. And always you have a in between, which is a major segment, 37%. I will explore the options after results, but anyhow go through the government counseling. So this is the majority, 37% actually. And there are some more interesting questions also. Will the COVID pandemic affect your decision to, no, just a minute, I'll come to the third question. Will the steps that what steps that the colleges should take to ensure the students' safety, which is a major concern? So in that, I think most of them have said yes. Major factor, safety is the major factor, is almost 84%. 84% safety is the major factor. That's what they said. And one more question, will online classes have more importance in the coming academic sessions? That's again 75% have said yes. So these are the interesting results that have come out from our poll. I think it's a very, very interesting as well as a useful session. And all the panelists are well versed in this educational line, and they have a lot of expertise, and they have shared their knowledge, experience, and projections on what is good for the students, everything. And I hope the students have benefited out of this. And by doing this exercise, we should thank Collegedunia for doing this wonderful exercise at this critical juncture. Thank you, panelists. Thank you, Collegedunia.
Thank you, sir.
But thank you very much for having us.
So from Collegedunia side also, we are very happy that all of you participated and shared your views. So majority of the questions are the questions of majority of the students who have anxiety in this particular situation. So the answers for majority of the questions have been answered, and we really hope that the students are much more equipped to make an informed decision at this particular point of time. So once again, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for joining, and keep on doing a wonderful job as you have been doing so far. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.